Please like and subscribe to the Couch and the Rube YouTube channel. Also, download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube, our Monday show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. You can download the app today. Bet football futures, whatever it might be that you want to bet. Like, people's minds are turning to football. Firekeepers is here for you. They got new sign-up bonuses as well. Or just head on down to Firekeepers Casino on I-94 in Battle Creek. Get the in-house experience at Dacey's Tap Room and Sportsbook with a casino floor behind you at your fingertips, all the dining. It's a cool vibe. You don't need to go to Vegas. It's right in Southwest Michigan on I-94 in Battle Creek. Firekeepers Casino. Jason, how you doing, brother?
Welcome to the Blue Wall.
Mask the taint.
Welcome to the Blue Wall.
Mask the taint.
Welcome to the Blue Wall.
I'm not talking about Michigan.
What's up, buddy?
Doing all right?
Are you sad?
Why would I be sad? The World Cup's over?
No, the newspapers are dead.
Oh, we're not dead.
Detroit News, I mean, this guy, your boy, the Detroit News guy, Gary Miles, what's he up to today? I didn't see this until this morning. It was absolutely wild. But anyway, good to see you, buddy.
It's good to see you, too.
But I have to say, we got to start. I mean, it's fascinating to me with Warde Manuel saying that he's going to be gone at the end of the year. I'm sure everybody that's listening to this show knows the news of Warde Manuel now.
Yeah, and it's part of this investigation that was finally released, the findings of it, or at least a summary of the
$12
findings.
million. That's what they got for $12 million.
It's not great. It's not real.
We need to start talking about what these lawyers are making, though. Nobody asks questions. They just hear $12 million and go, oh, my God, that sounds like a lot of money. Anyway, what's going on? How's the weather?
You go back to, like, the Nassar investigation.
Oh, forget about it.
And it was like you got three lawyers and, you know.
Jesus Christ, the guy down the street's got his own music hall now from the Nassar thing. Holy fuck.
Anyway.
These guys were balling out now.
Yeah, it's good work if you can get it.
Is it, though? I guess.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
Sell your soul, but yeah.
There are good lawyers in the world.
There are.
But $12 million is not efficient spending. And I think the frustration with that is they want transparency, and yet it's just a summary that they're releasing with. Now, there were some harsh words from the sitting president about things that need to change, and I think that's not insignificant. But look, it's not like here. Let me just read what the president said.
Oh, I thought you wanted to read what Gary Miles had to say.
We can get into that a little bit.
Why? He posted this, Gary Miles.
Well, they're not. Let me just say this: the Detroit News is now part of our company. Gannett bought them.
Yeah,
they bought them.
So that means you should be able to talk about it.
I can't come on this show and just shit on people.
We're not shitting on it. We're talking about things that have transpired, things that are public knowledge. It isn't. I'll do the shitting.
No,
you don't have to do the shitting.
I will say it is
but
never.
You must be concerned.
I'm not concerned, but it's never. It's just not a great. The Detroit News does amazing work. They got some unbelievable people there. The work they do on the State House coverage and a lot of. It's the work they do there is outstanding. They got a lot of really, really good reporters who drive coverage of a lot of important things in Michigan. So I'm not. Yeah. The idea that newspapers are dying because they screwed something up. And yes, when you take an unnecessary shot at somebody, it should be beneath you to do that. And that's I didn't agree with that little posting.
Local sports media personality Justin Spiro.
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, it just makes no sense. Doing that sort of thing to somebody who, turns out to had some information that looked a little more right than the information they had. Yeah. It's just first of all, it's just unnecessary. Even if you don't have, even if your sourcing is telling you something different, live above the fray. You don't have to live in these, newspaper
I didn't
wars.
mind part of what Gary Miles had to say. He should have kicked that whole first paragraph out, though.
Yeah.
But to say that, in quote, it would be naive to think nothing is being discussed, especially given the sanctions, scandals, and ongoing concerns and oversight. So you go and you do the thing like, well, we've asked, they've given us this. I understand where he's coming from on that. But the first paragraph was just wild to see.
Live above the fray. And that wasn't a great example.
All right.
So
newspaper's not dying, Graham Couch says.
Yeah, well, not on this.
Number one. It's not their apps that you just can't even click on a story and read, but
But here's what Grasso, the president of Michigan, said. The broader cultural view has identified serious concerns that require immediate action. These include failures in accountability, structural deficiencies, weaknesses in our reporting and support systems, and concern about retaliation. This is unacceptable. We have significant work ahead to restore Michigan athletics to its standing as a model program, not only on the field but off the field. I would argue that it's probably never really been there. The big thing about Michigan that comes out of the last few years is Michigan is like every program, like many schools, like many companies, that they will protect themselves. They'll protect the Block M over doing what's right. That's not unique to Michigan. That's a lot of organizations. That's a lot of college football programs. It's a lot of college athletic departments. But Michigan likes to behave like it's above that. And it's not, right? It probably never was. It just tries to carry itself, and there's a little bit of a smugness. Everybody would agree about that. And the problem that's happened for Michigan now is I think that mask has been ripped off, and most people who follow college sports or the news of any sort don't view Michigan in that light anymore. It's definitely been tarnished, and that's okay, because the truth is they probably never were that. You can carry, if you want to carry yourself a certain way. Like, this isn't great transparency. Yeah, there's some harsh words from a president, but I understand there's some fears about retaliation and people being able to come forward and all that stuff. But these are public universities. Public universities are very expensive to get into, where it's hard for people who don't have great means to go to. And you can spend $12 million and you're going to get this? Like, that's shit. I don't agree with the people in the state legislature who are cutting funding to public education, to state-funded universities. I don't like it. I think if you are voting for those people and then you're mad about things that are happening at university financially, be it cuts there or your football program not having money, whatever it might be, you're kind of eating your own hand. Like, you don't really have an argument. But by the same token, some of the arguments there are like, it's too hard for in-state kids to get in. It's hard. It's expensive. It's all like, when you use $12 million and get this, and I understand money comes from different pots and all that shit, but you validate people thinking like you're just not good with money. You don't need a lot of state funding. If this is $12 million, this is not good work. This is not good work. You're hiring an outside law firm, sort of, to do something like this for $12 million.
But they paid $12 million because this is what they wanted. They didn't want transparency. They didn't want this law firm bringing to light something like
they don't want everything,
right?
Or they don't want everything.
So you pay $12 million, be like, all right, give us some shit that we can just if
we
could say that we did an investigation. But
if a place like Michigan really, really wanted it, and this goes for Michigan State when they've had their issues, or any place that has, if you really want to be open, if you really want to change and to have people trust you, tell the Detroit News, tell the Detroit Free Press, tell
Gary Miles, he'll come in there.
He will. Tell Bridge Magazine. Tell
Bridge Magazine.
I'm just telling bring them all in.
Oh,
to bring a collection of like 5 or 6 really good reporters from different news organizations, and say, have at it.
But some would ask, why would you need to bring them in? Like, where is the investigative journalism? I think that's what a lot of people have issues with the news and the free press, of where is guys like Spiro, where is he getting his information? Why aren't there people investigating these things down in Detroit?
Well, they're taking a lot of lumps. I'm not gonna. I mean, Spiro is plugged in at Michigan. There's no question about that. I think that's obvious, right? And there are a couple things. One, and I'm also not gonna shit on Spiro's sourcing, because I think I've talked to him about this stuff, and it's
hard to when he's right.
But also he is careful about not releasing certain things because he doesn't have things either concretely or on the record or whatever it is. So I mean, I think he tries to be careful with things. Different organizations have different sourcing standards as well. Like at the LSJ, and one of the things that drives me nuts that Gary Miles has a point in is we should not just rush to write our own aggregated articles about anonymous sourcing that somebody else does. You may retweet what they're doing. That's interesting that they found it. But you shouldn't be jumping in on that. Your own sourcing should rarely be anonymous. And you should almost never be jumping in on other people's anonymous sourcing. That is a real weakness in our business. It's just because then you're giving credence to something you have no freaking idea about.
Well, and that's what he said at the end. The larger point is this: we don't merely repeat what's reported elsewhere to get a share of the digital traffic. We first try to verify.
100%. That's great. But you don't have to say that. Just do it.
Right.
That's the problem. Right? And so look.
Kick the first and last paragraph, Gary.
Gary's a smart guy. Been in Michigan journalism for a long time.
Sure.
Good editor. I'm not shitting on what they have going down there. There are a lot of, like, what the Detroit News does in certain respects is fantastic work.
But if you want those clicks, Gary, start doing some investigative journalism. That's what I want to read. I don't know about anybody else. Well, not even just into this story. Like they
do some really good stuff.
I understand.
I think that's they do some really good stuff. There are questions.
Listen, I support our local papers and all of our local news and stuff like that. So I feel like I have the ability to critique and kind of say these kind of things because I do put my money where my mouth is, and I do support these things.
Yeah, you look at the work they do on the political front with the State House. It's outstanding. Like it's really good in-depth stuff. They're not carrying water for people, and
except Michigan.
Well, so people live in these bubbles where it's just right. It's.
I mean, you can't deny it any further, though. Like, right? We can't deny this blue wall thing anymore.
Well, but hold on. Let me give me some Hoff for 1 second. I want to pull something up on this.
A little hungover after his birthday.
That's crazy.
And I ride. What the fuck?
Okay, so Connor Eargood, who's taken will take some grief, right? He's a talented young guy who's aggressive and good, and he is not a homer. He is not. Now, people think he is because he went to the University of Michigan, covers Michigan State, so that pisses Michigan State fans off. And he had an exchange with somebody who basically, the response was on X, I don't want journalism at MSU. I want the green wall, same as U of M, cover everything up and never report on anything the school doesn't want public. Like that's, and a lot of people.
That's what Connor said? Or?
No, that's what the other guy said.
Okay.
And, I think there is that, like people, they're so tied up in their love for their alma mater, their hatred for their rival, that it's hard. Like if you take everything that's going on and strip the Michigan name off of this, how you feel about it, both Michigan and Michigan State fans would think this is a whole lot of bullshit going on at Michigan. But they would be able to do it sensibly without the Michigan folks saying, well, there's a lot of, there's not that much here. There's no smoking gun. This is a lot of nothing. There's some bad shit. But not, there's a lot of different thoughts there without Michigan State people going, burn it all fucking down. Like the emotion of the rivalry creates just lack of clear thought. And a guy like Spiro would be the first to tell you that he absolutely has an axe to grind with Michigan, but he doesn't hide it. And so that's fine. I think if you are in a position of being like a fan journalist, I think that's absolutely okay as long as you are open about your motives, because then people can decide whether they want to believe you is credible. And that's one of the things he battles, right? People who are Michigan fans and even some Michigan State people aren't going to believe him because they're questioning his credibility, and he has to be right to overcome that.
And does he criticize Michigan State with the things? Obviously, Michigan State's program has had some issues in the past. But if you're fair on both sides and you come down on your university too, like when I listen to Valenti and he sits there and comes down on his university that he went to, I just feel like you have to do it both ways. You can't look the other way when you know. there's obvious,
and that's
issues
what
a
lot of Michigan State fans get frustrated with is they don't feel like with the Detroit media that it's
right.
That it's fair. It's more fair than people think. I do think that we've talked about on this show. There is, I call it, what do we call it? The blue curtain, right? I don't think it's a blue wall, but
Welcome
I think
to
there
the
is.
blue wall.
There has been a sharper critical edge on Michigan State in the time that I have been around the two programs in the media landscape than there has been on Michigan. And I don't think there's any doubt about that. Now, why it gets there and the reasons for it are many and individual. And that's part of, like, you can look at case by case. Well, people talk about the Larry Nassar and why that blew up, and yet the situation with Dr. Anderson and Bo Schembechler did not, right? Well, one brought in just hordes of outside media. In one case, you're talking about young women on a witness stand on TV crying. That is going to bring in a ton of attention. You've got a perpetrator who's still alive on the stand on video. In the other case, you've got men who were abused years ago and a doctor who's dead. Like, those things are never going to have the same attention. They're just not. And it's now, there are lots of individual cases where you can argue that people, there are certain columnists who are less likely to go after Michigan or be enthusiastic in poking around than they would be at MSU. And that's, I think that's all fair to criticize. But I don't even know where how to get back to where we were. In this particular case, I think Michigan is just, I think the last 3-4 years, the mask is off. Michigan is just like everybody else. And for this 5 or 6 year window, actually a little worse than a lot of people, a little more corrupt, a little less able to police itself, a little, but just like everybody, happy to win at all costs. And that shouldn't be the way it is, but it just is. And there are Michigan people who are pissed off. John U. Bacon today. I mean, John U. Bacon is not exactly
John U.
Yeah, he's not exactly a bastion of objectivity when it comes to like the Michigan State. But if you look,
Edmund Fitzgerald, yeah.
Well, that's different. That's a really good book. But if you get into, so here's what he said. He said, Michigan's response once again makes no sense. If A.D. Warde Manuel is not a central part of the problem, President Grasso cited from the $12 million report, why push him out? If he is a central part of the problem, why keep him as an advisor to enact needed reforms? I would say this, that it's a fair point. I think it's inconvenient for Michigan to have to find a new AD right now when they don't have a permanent president. I think that's what they're trying to get to. I think they're trying to let the next president make the move. I think they don't have a individual smoking gun against Warde Manuel other than oversight, and so they're able to do this. And, you go back to Luana K. Simon when she was forced out as the president of Michigan State, and she had to go. And she had to go because of the statements she had said were insensitive and just ill-crafted, and you couldn't have a person in leadership lead after saying what she did. Had she been better just in that moment and not with the previous oversight of whether she should have had better oversight under Nassar or whatever, she could have said, I'm leaving in a year. I'm going to help find my replacement. The president of the university can't stay after something like this happens. And people probably would have been okay with it. So there's nothing in the Warde Manuel situation. I mean, I get it. I get why they're doing it. It's easier. It's better for the university probably, or at least, people can say, well, they need a fresh start, but it makes things more chaotic when he goes. I don't know that I would make the same decision, but Michigan's doing what's convenient for them. That's this whole thing is about what's convenient for Michigan. Again, they are no better than anybody else. And so just don't allow them to act like they are, because they're not. They're just regular people, right? It's just not, they're not that, it's.
But if you can get away with it, why wouldn't you? Like, what do you, like, people want transparency, but why would you be transparent if you're the University of Michigan?
Well,
why?
Just
you've gone this far. You've got rid of Warde. He's going to be sticking around till the end of the year. Why would you answer any questions? Why would you, I guess I understand it, but it's not a good look. But I just feel if that's the way you're going to behave for years and years, why change it now?
And people will move on but
right,
it's not great, but I'm just saying I understand why they're keeping him. I do. And I'm not surprised that they're keeping him for 6 months. I'm not surprised on the timeline. It's convenient for them. It's easier for him. It doesn't feel like
Is
firing.
it convenient, though? I mean, Ward was out in the media or texting people like, I plan on staying here, and now he's going to be a part of what? The placeholder. He's going to be the placeholder until the new hire.
Yeah, he'll help them.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Hey, Ward, can we get your help with this over here?
He wants the parachute, whatever they're going to give him. Yeah.
So you got to play along for the money.
You know he knows where some bodies are buried. Yeah. They know that. You know that's everybody who's in near the top of an organization. There are people there who know things that they don't want other people to know, and they just assume keep that person happy. So anyway, that to me is a
right.
It's the story of the day. It's
not July topic.
Not surprising. I'm glad it's happening in July. I'm glad a lot of this stuff has happened while I'm actually on paternity leave. So I'm like, I have to get informed for the show, but not enough to write a column about it. It's great. It is. I'll tell you, the one time it is a little bit of a pain is sometimes, like you're getting ready for this, and I'm, and I feel bad sometimes because I'm not as zoned in as I would be otherwise. And you realize I can't actually show up here and talk about this unless I do a little more reading on this and pay a little more attention. And so hopefully I've
Did you guys have one kid or three?
We had
you have triplets?
Six
I mean,
kids.
what is happening over here? You can't just put Cora on your stomach and read some stuff.
We had one and adopted 5. Yeah. That's what we've done here. What is your next take?
Dude, how about the Open? Man, did we have that leaderboard surrounded. First and foremost, before we get into any Bryson kind of conversation, shout out to Ryan Fox for winning that. If anyone is going to lose, because we had that leaderboard surrounded. Graham, did you have Cam Young?
I did.
Outright or top 10?
I had outright and top 10.
Okay, good.
And
congratulations to you. You had some really good picks because I had Siwoo, who shit his pants. Was not fun to watch with Siwoo. But Ryan Fox, and the reason why you should root for him, A, he's a good guy, and B, he's one of the fastest golfers on the PGA Tour, possibly ever. I love that dude. Watching him 6 seconds, 7 seconds when he addresses the ball.
Even the final putt was quick.
I know. Well, by the way, 5 players birdied 18, and he did it because it looked like it was going to go to a playoff, and Cam Young is going to have regrets about the way he finished off on 18, clipping that bunker on 18 and not being able to birdie the 18th hole either. So, man, we had the freaking board surrounded. Ryan Gerard was up there, too. You had Cam Young, Burns.
I had Burns, too.
I know. That's what I mean. We had it surrounded. That's just golf betting. That's why I don't tell anyone to get into it. I love it. I enjoy it. But, dude, it will break your effing heart.
My take on this is going to be this is why you should never bet golf.
I would tell people not to do it.
I got lucky that randomly there must have been, because, when you're streaming golf, it's a little behind what's live, right? So when you're live betting golf, you have to be, you don't know if somebody's actually in a bunker 12 seconds ahead of what you're watching. That's a little nerve-wracking, right? And I was able to find a spot where Ryan Fox was, he was plus 390 still, and he was on 17, I think. Mm-hmm. It was ridiculous. He must have had a shot that wasn't great, or I don't know exactly.
I just think Vegas thought if it went to a playoff, Cam Young was going to.
Right. So at that point, the only person I didn't have on the board was Ryan Fox. So I just jumped in and put like 40 on him. I was like, we're gonna get something out of this. Even doing that,
I was just about to tweet that out.
Even having Cam Young and Sam Burns and Ryan Fox to some degree, and having all these top 10s, top 8s, I still barely broke even. Like, I had this board surrounded.
Yes.
I got the guy who won late at a decent price, and still, when everything going pretty damn well, I broke even. Like, to me, that is why you don't bet golf. Because it took everything to go perfect, really well, not perfectly, but because if Burns had won or Young had won, I would have won a little money. But it was brutal.
I was in the same boat because I had it surrounded. I was doing good in my 3 DraftKings lineups, and then Siwoo, like I said, mentioned he shit his pants. But I had Ryan Gerard and Ludwig Hebert top 10, and those guys did their damnedest to finish outside the top 10. But, yeah, for a $50 loss. But, man, I tell you what, if you are a golf bettor, you know what I mean. The sweat, the waking up on Sunday morning and having those guys, that's the thing. You have to just be able to handle the swings, like they say in, what was that poker? I forgot it. I just brain farted. Anyway, Bryson DeChambeau, the big story. By the way, I just really think that the PGA needs Bryson DeChambeau back. No matter what you think of him, you have to admit, though, having a villain on the PGA Tour is what you need. You need it in any one of these sporting leagues. Like, all the competing football leagues that try to sit there and try to match the NFL. That's what they need. You need someone who's going to show up. Like, people will watch someone they hate. They love doing that.
I think it helps in tennis. I think it helps in anything. Yep.
I don't mind DeChambeau. I think that he did step on that grass. He took big, giant stomps on it. I didn't appreciate the way he handled it after the round. And I understand that he was trying to explain himself. But when the RNA are going to give you that 2-shot penalty, you handle it with class. And when you go behind closed doors, like going and saying that you might not play tomorrow, that was baby-level shit. It was just terrible, and it was embarrassing. But with that being said, I just thought it was compelling. When I got home on Friday and saw the story, I was glued to the television. I was absolutely glued. Now, I know I'm a diehard degen, so I love golf. But even if you didn't love golf, you were going to tune in on the weekend to see what was going on with Bryson.
Yeah.
He is that kind of guy. So I thought it was a great tournament. I know some people were mad that the elements, it wasn't kind of like an open championship. It wasn't really the link style because there wasn't balls like rolling all over the place, and the fescue wasn't as brutal, and the guys were hitting out of that. But, man, shout out to Ryan Fox.
Yeah, well,
absolutely.
Climate change is getting us all.
It sucks, and that's for two guys that lost a lot of money, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, climate change is getting us all. If you want the old British Open, I don't know what to tell you, but it ain't just the Canadian wildfires. They've been having some serious heat waves for a few years now over in England. They're going to have to actually get air conditioning over in those parts of the world.
By the way, is Tim Stout breaking news again? The dean of sports. For you guys that don't know, the dean of sports has been around here for 95 years. Stout was tweeting out that he's keeping his eye on Western Michigan's Dan Bartholomew as Michigan State's next athletic director.
No.
His $5 million buyout would be mostly offset by nearly $4 million MSU is getting from Kentucky.
He's not breaking news. But first of all, why would Bartholomew was somebody who was considered people thought might be a good candidate last time when they hired Jay Batt. I'm not saying he wouldn't be a good candidate. It's one of those situations where if you have
a buyout to get that guy,
if you were to put a short list together, he would be an obvious candidate. I think he's done a good job in a tough time, in a tough place there. He's considered a smart guy who's with it. There are people at MSU who would like to see him brought in.
Okay.
I do not think
Stout's tweeting that out. I'm like, when is he breaking news?
Yeah, and I'm sure Guskowitz has had conversations with him, given the search he just did. But to say now maybe Stout knows something I don't. I would be stunned. Now, if it winds up being right, that doesn't mean Stout broke it. Right? We have to learn that.
I'm going to give it to Stout, though,
you don't get
if it happens.
Just because you say something that turns out to mean right doesn't mean you have it.
No, he said he's keeping his eye.
If the decision hasn't been made, right?
I did my due diligence.
It's like I remember when LeBron was going to Miami the first time in 2010. What's his name from ESPN at the time was like, all indications, like couching it that way, like so, and then saying you had it right, like. You can't say all indications he's going to Miami. He goes to Miami, and you're like, I reported he was going to Miami. No, you said all indications.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the
covers
same
your ass.
Yeah, it's way covering your ass.
Listen,
like, that's not. You don't get to call that.
Not everybody wants to be Gary Miles, Like you have to just keep those, parameters there, just in case something does crazy happens, and you wake up on a Monday and you go, oh shit, Warde Manuel is fired. Damn it. So, did he apologize to Spiro? Do you think or no?
No. Weekend and
soccer is boring.
I loved it because on the Firekeeper's Eye Casino and Sportsbook futures, it was a nice weekend for me with Spain, and Mbappe winning the Golden Boot. But I would think
that's fair. Him getting the boot. I mean, you're going to say that because you had a bet on.
No,
it,
I don't.
That third place game.
I don't think it should count.
Right.
And I don't think it should count not because there's a third place game, but because of the lack of seriousness in which the players. If you have 10 goals in a game, all right, those guys usually aren't defending the way they usually do in other games. And it's not just because the final went 1-0. There are occasional games you saw in the Champions League semifinal between PSG and Bayern Munich. You saw like a 5-4 game. So those things happen on occasion. But it would not have happened. If this game had been the final between France and England, would have been like 2-1. Totally different game. And so the stats are skewed. Now, you could argue that there are games. For example, France plays Norway, and Norway rests all their starters in the finale of the group stage, and so you get some dead rubber games where maybe it's just as much as. But I don't think once you're technically out of winning the World Cup, you probably shouldn't be up for. That doesn't mean it wasn't fun to see. I mean, and Thomas Tuchel, the England coach is taking even more shit, rightfully so, for his lineup decisions in the semifinal and his lineup decisions then in the final. And we don't need to get into all that. If you're really into that, there's lots of good soccer podcasts for that. I thought, though, it was a great weekend for everything the sport can be. And because I actually enjoyed the final a ton. And I know a lot of people are frustrated because it's 1-0. But it was one of the more dominant performances, what Spain did. I mean, Spain allowed no shots on goal for like 115 minutes. No shots, period. Like, no shots. That's
one goal the whole World Cup.
That's absolutely incredible. And they did it mostly with possession, by just not letting the other team have the ball. That's what killed France. It's what, in some ways, it worked out best for England, because I don't think they would have won the game either. And instead, they beat France and get to live in this what-if and sense of regret, and that maybe that'll fuel them before the Euros in 2 years, which they're hosting. But I loved watching that type of game unfold, where you had a team that was overmatched, like Argentina, playing a little bit dirty, getting a lot of calls, but doing what they had to do to try to staying in it. And Spain up against it 15 minutes from penalties, which would have been maybe favoring Argentina, certainly not favoring anybody or favoring them, and having to get it done, feeling that pressure, dominating the game in ways that very few people have ever dominated a game, and winning 1-0. I mean, that's one of the frustrating and dangerous things about soccer, but it's what keeps it tense. That game on a football field is 35-7. Closest. In a soccer game, it's 1-0, and the other team has a chance in one moment, and that's part of what makes the game great. And you can say, I don't like that part of the game. That's fine. But part of what makes the game great is that game was close and intense until deep into stoppage time.
When Argentina doesn't have a shot on goal, it's just kind of like.
But you never know.
When you're a novice soccer person, you're like, wow, this is good. Like, here's a dumb question. Like, I don't understand. If you have a guy like Messi, how do you not just try to get him the ball any which way you can?
Because you got to.
I know that he's being swarmed. I understand that, but there has to be some way where you just. Right, there's no game plan where you're getting thoroughly dominated like that.
Their whole offense is built towards.
Can't Messi just get the ball and just go around everybody?
He's not. Yeah, it's not quite how it works.
He's God, right?
Yeah.
He can't just.
I mean, picture Barry Sanders at 39 years old. He would still move with a lot of jukes, but he wouldn't quite be able to do what Barry did if he had stuck around.
Oh, so you're saying if this were like 10 years ago, that would be a possibility?
He would certainly be more dangerous than he is now, and he'd be a more complete player, because they build this whole thing around a guy who walks half the game, and sort of, anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you guys.
Do you have anything else before we
Well, yeah. Do you want to get into the Tigers?
Let's do it.
Buenos tardes. It is time for the Detroit Tigers Gambling Update with Gramanito Couch and Jason Nick.
Well, Graham, it wouldn't be a week with the Detroit Tigers if there were not a full body scan on Casey Mize. Pulled from the game yesterday, had a little comebacker. Of course. I just hate how fast they do it. That just annoys me.
And how fragile he is.
It's just what the...
People always say don't trade Mize.
Baseball players are bigger pussies than soccer. I'll say that. They are. And I don't think it's because of the certain players. I think, it's the organizations and
let me ask you this question about Casey Mize.
Yeah.
Do you think he's ever going to have a stretch where he has a healthy season?
If they stop staring at his groin, yes. If they just let him fucking play and pitch. Dude, I couldn't imagine. Does he come into the clubhouse and they're just staring at his groin?
If he has three healthy starts ever in a row, you have to move him. To me, you move him, because if anybody's stupid enough to take that guy on.
But he's not the only one, right?
I know, but
we claim that with Michigan State when we talk about Liz Frank injuries. It happens everywhere.
He is delicate. He is. There's no question. He is more delicate.
Is it him though, or is it the organization? Is it Hinch?
I think most people would have taken him out in these situations.
Good Lord!
It's just he happens to be more brittle than some.
And I know they beat the Angels, 2-1 in this series. But do you still believe? I just don't believe.
No, I
don't believe. I just hate this feeling though, because I want to just jump back on board. Come on, guys, we can make the playoffs. But I just don't. What are we gonna do in the playoffs? And the Scooble thing hanging over our head, and I love the way Troy Melton's been looking. Some of these guys, yeah, I'm happy with some of the turnaround, but my God,
the timing is rough now because, golf is essentially done, right?
And we got the 3M in Minnesota this week.
Yeah, but nothing's spread out. Wimbledon's done. The World Cup's done. Football's not here. Now is the time where you got to.
It's the end of July.
Yeah. It's the worst time, and the Tigers aren't ready to carry the mantle, and they have one job. When everything else is done, you got to get, look, a lot of people want them to win big. They have to do one job. They have to get you to football season. And so maybe they can do that job. That would be
but is it getting you to football season if you don't believe right now at the end of July?
No,
I don't think that's getting me there. I mean, am I going to tune in? Yeah, because I love these guys. I love watching the Tigers during the summer. It's fun. But my God, if you're asking me if I'm going to sit there and blindly support some of this stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not
anyway.
Good. All right, we will take a quick break. When we come back, we will dig into to your takes on all this stuff. Some good stuff on Michigan and what's happened over there and World Cup. MSU football very much on the mind, and I can tell that from the listener takes. We'll be right back. Couch in the Rube, our Monday show presented by our friends at Front 43. Sorry, not Front 43. Always presented by Front 43, but Firekeepers, iCasino and Sportsbook app.
Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com. Where else can you cheer on your team? Enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi. Sip on handcrafted cocktails or one of 46 beers on tap. Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with one awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Firekeepers Online Casino and Sportsbook is the site to play. From your phone, tablet, or laptop. Get in on all the football action with pre- and in-game wagering. There's showdowns every week in football that you can't miss. Plus, the college and pro hoops are red hot, and the pucks are cool. Get your first casino deposit and sports wager matched up to $500 each. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117.
Please like and subscribe to the Couch in the Rube YouTube channel. Also, download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
Couch in the Rube, our Monday show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. You can download the app today. Enjoy the sign-up bonuses that are there. They've upgraded their interface. It's I think much more user-friendly. And start looking at football games and maybe some U.S. Open tennis. Tennis betting to me is where it's at. Oh. No, it's where it's at. There's all sorts of people always bet Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, but it's the little tournaments, the 250s in Geneva and all sorts of little places. A place I can't even pronounce. I was going to say something, but I can't remember the name of it. So that's
Rounders was the movie I tried to remember, that poker movie. It's funny when you're on the show and you just blank out.
Can't do it. But you can do all that at the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Before we dig into our listener takes, intern Nolan is here.
Oh, that's right.
And he is going to dig into what is kind of up his ass today. And
what?
Whoa! What?
Is that not the right terminology?
I don't think that's
a new segment with intern Nolan. What's up your ass?
What's up your ass? What are you thinking about, Nolan?
Well, yeah, that's a good one. Wow. I was thinking about Jalen Duren and how this entire offseason there's been no progress with him at all. I think that's one of the big keynotes in the NBA offseason right now is how little there's how much attention he's getting, but how little information has come out about him. I think that obviously him being probably one of the most prominent young players in the NBA, 13 All NBA at 21 years old, he's definitely going to be a future center for whatever team gets him. If the Pistons sign him, we get him to whatever. We don't want to sign him for a max. I don't think he's not worth the max. But if we sign him, that'd be great for us. But he also wants to stay. He wants to sign and deal. He wants to go to teams like Utah. There's a possibility they trade out for Utah. A lot of teams want him, and it's completely. I completely see why. He's a good player. I just think there's too much going around him where we could sign him, and because we saw how good he is in the regular season, but his playoff, he played great in the playoffs last year against the Knicks, and that series against the Knicks where he lost. But then he plays this year, just complete fall off against Orlando. Couldn't do anything against Jarrett Allen. I mean, it was just bad. But I think maybe it's just a young struggle. That's what I'm hoping it is, and I'm hoping that kind of if we do sign him, he doesn't try to. I hope he doesn't sign and trade. I want him here. I think he'd be a great addition because quite frankly, I don't think we can really start Paul Reed as a starting 5 for a good majority of the season. I think he's a good backup, but he's not. No, I don't think he's a great player. He's just not a Jalen Duren. He's not a big. He's more like a stretch big instead of a legit starting big. And I think Jalen Duren would just still fits this team great. Is him and Cade and the SAR. That's such a good trio right there. And that's kind of like our future trio, and I just want them to stay together, which I don't know if it will happen, but I mean I hope it does.
So
the Pistons are up your ass.
Yeah, it's something like that.
July.
They're always
after everything that happened over the weekend. That was really like your first.
I mean, I would say because
it's good though. One we haven't talked about. It's good.
We've talked about the Pistons for a few weeks.
Yeah, I like it. Here's what I would say about Duren. I think you're right. They want him. It's about but I think either you get him at the price that allows you to remain flexible, or he's better off he walks. And he can't walk. He's a restricted free agent here. There's some somebody'd have to. There's a lot of different things that could go on here. But I think ultimately he's hurt because he thought he was going to get something near a max. A lot of these guys are delusional, and I think the whole league is full of guys who are going to come back down to reality with a second apron when every team really is only giving out one, maybe two of these spots. You talk about that trio. That trio is great, but there isn't a number 2 on a championship team. Asar Thompson's probably a more unique, interesting, valuable player, and he's about to get paid. And as soon as he gets paid and his contract kicks in and Duren's contract kicks in, the flexibility starts to shrink a little bit. So if you still need to add a really marquee player or that's sort of a lot more shooting or a lot more talented upper-tier role players, you can't overpay a guy who plays a position that is important, but he's not like an elite rim protector. And then when he had the moment in the playoffs, he wasn't good. They didn't even play him down the stretch. So I totally get what the Pistons are doing. I respect it. I feel bad for Duren. Although he's going to still have a ton of money.
What do you feel bad for?
I don't feel that bad for him. Yeah, I mean,
I think it's the media kind of hating on him. He's definitely lost.
That playoff stretch was complete ass.
It was bad.
It was shocking.
Like you said, he's only 22 years old.
I don't give a shit.
He's like the same age as me.
Yeah, you both annoy me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we both had terrible playoff series. We want to talk about your Instagram page you started for us here.
Yeah,
how long have you had to do this? By the way, hold on. No, you hold on, Couch. We gave him something to do because Couch and I have no idea.
Hold on. No. Because he and I had a conversation about what to do and not to go forward with certain things. That's why it's where it's at.
What? Nothing misogynistic?
No,
What are you talking about? Just go for it. Let him do something with the Instagram page. So this is your fault?
It's my fault.
Okay.
It's my fault.
Podcast and live YouTube shows. What the header says on it.
That's what I was told.
Wait, listen. He's 22 years old. He can handle it. He's going to handle some critiques.
Fine. Okay. All right. Yeah, just like Jalen Duren would.
Don't hold on me to death. What the fuck is this? I'm just saying, we try to give him something where you need to be critiqued, is all I'm saying. Like, what is going on
Does
here?
he need it?
But I didn't know Couch was holding you back.
Well, yeah, I hold most people back. I definitely am holding him back. This is on me entirely.
I'm a young superstar in the making of being held
all right. Well.
So, yeah, what I would say to Duren is only that, while he's gotten some criticism now, if he were to take get a true maximum, 5 years, $287 million, then every time they fell short of looking like a championship team, the mic should be in his face. Why aren't you good enough to win a championship? Because you are getting paid to win a championship at that point. Like every night, you need to be a max player. You need to be a championship team tomorrow if you're making that kind of money. And I don't think he wants. I mean, he wants that money, but I don't think he. That's the smoke that should be there if you were to get the full amount. Yeah. But
I don't mind paying him. I just don't mind the fact I wrote in my notes. I was saying
are we still talking about Duren?
Sorry,
is that what's happening?
Just a quick final thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't want to sign somebody you just can't guarantee that's not gonna be legit. Like Cade, that was a first overall pick. That's guaranteed money. Asar, I think he'll absolutely get a max. I think he's by far the best defending guard in the NBA, or up there at least. Duren is, like I said, mediocre defender, okay shot taker, good in the paint on offense, but he's just not worth that much money. I'd sign him for $200 million. I could live with that, but 287, 280 just not worth it.
It's about how the percentage of the cap. Yeah, I think anything over $35 million a year is probably too large a percentage of the cap going forward. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think it's an interesting story of the summer because this is not the summer anybody thought the Pistons were going to have. We'll hear from intern Nolan here in a few minutes. We are going to start something a little new where we notice a lot of you are taking part in the live chat on YouTube, and we like that. And we want to include you in the show a little bit.
What's up your ass?
What's up your ass? Yeah. So we're gonna get into that a little bit in the middle of the show and bring Nolan back. But before we do that, let's dig into the listener takes.
Oh my goodness! All right, Eric Schultz up first. We can't critique the Instagram thing. I mean, like, come on.
Well,
you're gonna have to get used to this as you have a daughter now, and she's gonna be at a certain age. It's not like I'm trying to shit on him. I'm just saying we gave him this thing.
But I didn't.
And then you make it all weird. Hold on. Like on the show, I'm just figuring we do it on the podcast.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just asking. I'm just saying, hey, we give intern Nolan, because you and I don't know what to give him to do. Like, what the hell is going on? So we're like, oh, an Instagram page. And then I go look at the Instagram page. I'm like, oh, okay. But then I didn't know, you were holding him back. That's what we do here. We talk about it.
And we usually
talk about Jalen Duren for 20 minutes during a July show. Hey, it all happens.
That's what we do. Okay. Yeah.
Eric Schultz up first. Number 1, Warde Manuel being allowed to make decisions for the next 5 months before stepping down is the most Michigan way this could have gone. 2, the media should be relentless in their effort to obtain satisfactory answers as to why he's allowed to stay this long. It won't be.
You got to be interesting to see how much pressure there is on Michigan and how Michigan responds to that. And Michigan's general way, and Nick Baumgartner's been really blunt about this, is for the last 15 years.
Baumgartner's pretty blunt on everything.
Yeah, is just basically shut it down and keep people out, right? That's what they do. And
it's like, get Will Ferrell off my All-Star game. He's so passionate.
Yeah.
It's like, Nick, Jesus, man.
I will be curious to see. I mean, you're going to see some pretty intense criticism. How fierce it is from where?
It'll be from Spiro.
Well, no, this is a moment where the Detroit media, has to, have a bit of a sharp edge and have real questions. And I don't know that it'll matter though. Michigan.
Now what's going to happen?
Well, but even if they do, Michigan tends to just, all right, rarely would, unless like Mitch comes out and just says anything but Warde Manuel resigning today is just completely unacceptable from this school.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's anything that's going to. Even that, I wonder if that would have an impact.
All right. Dominic, next. Number 1, an anonymous source told me the reason Graham is successful with golf bets is that he calls Dan Kilbridge incessantly for tips and advice. Norm has officially broken couch in his Panera Bets account. 2, the most uncomfortable thing on the feed is watching Trump nominees being asked who won the 2020 election and seeing them sweat like pigs and refusing to answer. It's a repetitive shtick, but it's like a car accident, and I can't look away. 3, I felt bad I didn't give my 2 cents on fatherhood, Graham. I'll leave you with this. Take her trick-or-treating immediately and exploit the daylights out of her. And, then something about support and love or whatever. Bonus. Saw Comp working out at the gym Saturday. In my deepest donut voice, I'd say, wouldn't want to meet Comp in a dark alley.
Comp.
Is Comp jacked?
Throwing up, 225s? I don't know what that's.
Does that mean you can kick ass?
I do call Dan Kilbridge, or I do text him before. There's
of course,
a
you
group,
need tips.
Yeah, there's a group of people. I try to put together a series of like 4 or 5 different places to get, Kilbridge has been really good over time, and he obviously covered it professionally. And there's some others too who I trust. And then, if people, if too many people like somebody though, I tend not to like them in golf. It's just one of those things. It's like just no way.
This Fitzpatrick and Henley were like the most tipped last week.
Yep.
I cannot believe Matt Fitzpatrick didn't even make the cut though. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I understand those where not winning maybe finishes top 15 or something, but to not make the fucking cut.
Hovland didn't make it either, right?
No.
I mean, Jesus. No. And a lot of people liked it.
A lot of people screwed me this week. This past week. Spartan Dog 97. I'm between wanting a bowl no matter what the 6 wins looks like and thinking 3-9 where MSU is competitive in every game. Down less than 14 in the fourth quarter is better than 2 MAC blowouts and 4 other uninspiring wins. Truly an inside you there are 2 wolves dilemma.
So what's better, do you think, for Michigan State? To be 3-9 where they're like up there, they compete with Oregon. They're like competitive in every game, and they're just losing it.
I'm not doing this. I can't do this.
So here's what I would say.
Why on earth would I ever take 3-9?
What I would say
competitive
to this,
how?
There's value to the bowl. Now, I know what you mean, though. There is this sort of, you beat 2 MAC teams, you squeak by 4 other teams that turn out to be shitty. You get blown out in every other game. And
Give me the most competitive 3-9 year. Like, who would ever, no. No.
I see the dilemma.
There's no dilemma. Fuck 3-9. 6 wins. MAC wins, I don't care. Give me 6 at least. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I mean, to be honest, I want 9 wins. What are we talking about? Yeah. Spartan 18770. Number 1, Horace Graham making soccer picks this weekend was like watching Jim Cramer of CNBC making stock picks.
Sorry about that.
Isn't it amazing Jim Cramer's still on CNBC? Can you believe that? The guy's still on TV. He's still hawking his freaking stock picks, dude. That's crazy. 2, Michigan State football will be more disciplined and fundamentally sound than any time in the past 7 years.
Oh, we've heard that before. I think is this from 2 years ago?
Dude, just keep saying it.
Yeah,
hopefully 1 year. Shit.
My soccer picks. I really thought England was not going to show up.
We had Spain,
winning the
whole thing, right?
And part of I did have Spain winning the whole thing. But part of what, and I think I had them on the Asian line -1, so that lost though because you needed that in 90 minutes.
How did you do overall?
I did really well
in the World Cup.
Yeah, I did. Well, I was up quite a bit. But not every. I mean, I missed out on quite a bit as well. But I was up. With England, I didn't see a guy like Saka playing 90 minutes after not playing at all in the semifinal. And so you had all these guys who didn't get to be a big part of things, who were motivated. And then you get in this game and it's against France. And I don't know. It just, I misread that. Apologies.
Some dude, number 1, before Pat Fitzgerald embarks on an epic 15-year run of football success, I declare that we will someday look back and realize that the 2 most impactful ADs in MSU history were Marilee Dean Baker for the hiring of Tom Izzo and Jay Batt for the hiring of Pat Fitzgerald, even if he does have a punchable face and I can't stand him. And 2, I got MSU over 3.5 wins at -158 and put a small fortune on it. When this is discussed, you have to mention that they only really need to get to 3 wins with a few games left in the season, and you can hedge at that point to avoid big losses if that is looming and too much of a sweat. We should win 2 of the first 3 games. And bonus, Couch's favorite play in soccer is when the goalie makes an easy save and falls on the ball for 10 seconds as if he did something important.
Here. Actually, these first 2 are good though from some dude. I do think it. Like the way Izzo was hired though, it was not everybody was for him, and Judd really pushed that. And so I don't know who deserves complete credit, but. Certainly, if you're the person who hires the person who has success and a big part of your job is hiring the right people, you deserve credit for that. If Pat Fitzgerald, if Spartan Ventures goes on and winds up funding the athletic department in trying times incredibly well, and Pat Fitzgerald has a long run, wildly successful for MSU football, Jay Batt will be remembered for that. There's no question. Now he'll be, the way he left will be softened, and he would have done his job in the course of the year he was there, and that'll be looked at differently. And by the way, to the over 3.5, there is something. You're paying a fair bit of juice there over 3.5, so it gets a little harder.
Not as bad as I thought, though.
Yeah, I've seen it now at like minus. If you still get it now, it's like -180 to find some places. I'm not sure what they have on the Firekeeper's Eye Casino and Sportsbook app, but if you're seeing like 4 wins or more at like -180, which
is almost the number where it's not impressive and you can't really brag to people if it hits, right? It's kind of like hitting,
but here's the thing: if you know
hitting a hole-in-one on a par 3 with a driver,
often that kind of juice isn't worth it, especially if 4.5 is like even money right now, or 4 is even money. I think is what it is. But I will say that I think. If you can get it at 4, that's a good value because 4 is a push. If it's 4.5, it's a little more dicey. I think the odds of more than 3.5 are so much better than more than 4.5 that the juice is actually worth it in this situation. And as some dude points out, there is always the Thanksgiving weekend, hedge.
Just don't hedge yourself to death like Couch does.
Don't be a panic.
Not fun to watch.
Yeah. The best thing you can do is not actually watch the games you bet on because then you don't panic.
Max, I get it now, Graham. Soccer is a beautiful game. I just don't want to get up in the middle of the night to watch it. Why couldn't the Detroit billionaires have built the stadium at the site of the failed jail? We would have had an MLS team, and I wouldn't have to try to adopt a European club. I sure don't want to be that guy.
I was listening to Bill Simmons' pod, and he had a recommendation because he wants to get back into it. Don't tell Harry I was listening to Simmons' pod. I feel guilty every time I do. That he's just going to put a boatload of money on one team, and that'll be his team for the year. Like a futures bet, like an over a certain amount of points or whatever it is, and that just makes them your team. Like, I guess you could do that. Yeah, that it sucks that Michigan doesn't have a professional soccer team. I wish Grand Rapids has gotten more involved in this in terms of, and I understand Detroit City FC is professional, but I mean at the highest level. And it sucks that didn't come together. And I know Detroit City FC was not for that because it would have crushed them, like you see in San Diego, like you see other places, and that's too bad. What I would love to see is Detroit City FC become the MLS team. And look, the Gilbert and those guys, they got cheap, right? They said they were going to. MLS was clear. You have to have a soccer-specific stadium or a stadium that's built with soccer in mind. In both Atlanta and Seattle, which are football and soccer stadiums, those stadiums were built with sight lines and other things with the soccer in mind. And Ford Field was not. And Ford Field, frankly, and you notice this during the Final Fours when it just goes back too quickly. It's too deep. It's just not. The sight lines suck for certain things. Bad for basketball, and it's not built for soccer. And yeah, they weren't going to get away with not actually building a soccer-specific stadium. And at some point, you'd like to think the MLS will have a team here in Michigan.
Mojo Jojo, number one, soccer is the biggest threat. And what is this word? Panacea?
Yeah.
Is that a word? For college sports, college football's inner sign nonsense has me apathetic this season, but soccer's nationalistic fervor and club fealty is a legit bridge. The promotion relegation academy pyramid feels like American football's exonerable. What the fuck is this asshole doing? F you. Whatever. Two best World Cup since 06 for
entertainment. That's French.
Divertissement.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm going to skip this whole fucking thing here.
Third
place game was too stoned of gamers unleashing a FIFA Ragnarok. Announcers bricked. Watching Deschamps and Tuchel, most punchable 26 face, suffer conniptions, and France went 0 for 100 on ferocity. England's curse unfolding live was sublime. And bonus, would love a French Rube's take on the whole World Cup overall.
Do you do a French accent?
I don't think. I don't.
Oui. Big
word, the American, the big words. You know,
there you go.
I think you're smarter than the French. Oui.
Perfect. I think.
How do you say jerk off in French?
To your point, the idea that soccer is the biggest threat for college sports. There are things. It'll be interesting, the impact of this World Cup. There was a huge impact in '94. There's going to be an impact this year. We still don't have the top leagues here. But you're right, in terms of the passion for teams, and it's a 9-month season, which people love as well, and the promotion, relegation, and a lot.
I hope I'm dead before soccer's bigger than college sports.
I think
whenever it happens,
I do not think soccer overtakes the NFL in our lifetimes. But I can tell you, I do not know a generation from now, and who knows if we'll still be alive then, if college sports will exist the way they do today as passionately, and if they don't, soccer will might move into that. But the big problem here is, will Americans? We can love the Premier League, we can love La Liga, we can watch all these things, we can love the World Cup, but if the top league isn't here, can it ever be bigger than the top leagues here? I don't know. I mean, it's a higher level play than, people shit on MLS, but MLS is higher level play than college football. I mean, most of college football is pretty unwatchable. The level of play is not that high. We're just passionate about it, right? So if people become less passionate about it and actually take a examination to the level of play, the level of quarterback play, and what most college football games actually look like with 4-minute commercials every 4 minutes, it's just not that great a product.
Frank Vagner next. Number one, what college football team would you compare Spain to? And two, I feel like I'm more of a soccer fan than I was before the World Cup. What can I do to feed my newfound fandom? And baked, Chris Ilitch is better off hiring Norm to replace Iserman. He would love it.
Norm would be great.
Wouldn't mind it.
I would love to see those meetings. To feed your fandom, just start watching the Premier League Saturday mornings. It won't affect college football. It doesn't affect the games are mostly over. A little bit of a noon hour overlap, but otherwise, find the team you love, watch the games with your coffee. It's great.
How do you gamble on it?
What do you mean? The Firekeepers
soccer.
iCasino Sportsbook.
I know live read. I'm just saying, like, for real, like, how do you
learn it? You have to know it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it seems like it's really hard to gamble on. Like, baseball is that way in a sense. And I would tell if someone said, well, how do you bet on the baseball game? I'm like, well, I try to do total bases or hits, runs, RBI, kind of like put 3 different guys in there or 2 different guys.
So in some ways it's easier than baseball in that there's, baseball is a lot more like sometimes the best team actually looks like not as good because of the pitching matchup, right? The pitching matchup dictates so much, and you have a day where the best players are batting .330, or failing 1/3 of the time and all that stuff. In soccer, though, you get what's called soccered sometimes, which almost happened to Spain, for example. Complete domination. It's still 0-0. And so in that game, if you had Spain on the 90-minute line, which meant by the end of regulation they had to win, you lost. You lost your bet there. And so that's what happens in soccer that's hard sometimes. And so I would say this about soccer. It's my favorite sport to have a little bit of a wager on. Up there with football is still there. But it's also you want to make sure your wagers are never so big. Nothing's ever certain. You can think there's just no way that Brentford's going to hang here with Man City. And sure enough, it's 1-1 in like the 85th minute, and you're sweating your ass off. Like, you just got to be a little careful about that, but it's a lot of fun.
So bet the underdog is what you're saying.
Sometimes, yeah.
Kevin from Rochester Hills, number 1, Bryson DeChambeau is a child. 2, the NFL should settle ties with field goals, rotating offensive players. No. DeChambeau is a child, though. He did handle that penalty like a child.
Yes.
Threatening to not play.
But I agree.
But the other players, too, were kind of babies, too. Like, well, I was waiting for my tea time. I'm like, I get it, dude. Just go to bed. Wake up and fucking, here you go.
I think he is a child. I think he's annoying, but I think he's good for the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
He's perfect. Matt Salisbury, number 1, I know Bryson is kind of a douche, but is Rory turning into a bigger one? Jason, you may need to explain to Graham the context. 2, the fact that the game, the World Cup, was 1-0 was shocking. It seemed like Spain dominated them.
So, give me the context on Rory being a douche. I saw the comment. People are not happy.
A bigger one? I mean, Rory's going to take shit no matter what because he only played in 15 events. He missed a lot of the signature events. I get it. But Rory is also, he's won the Grand Slam. And he has the ability to kind of do what he wants now. And I understand that. And I have to say, like, we all love Tiger, right? But Tiger's a douche, too. I mean, did you see? The guy's flipping cars and saying, I just got off the phone with the president. I mean, that's douche. Right. But I love Tiger. Always will. Always, I will defend Tiger. No problem. Rory is great for the game. He's a great ambassador. Wherever he goes, he gets asked these tough questions. He's got to say something. Is he a bigger douche than Bryson? No way. Not even close. I think Rory is great for the game. And I understand that a lot of the camera's always on him. They're going to show him on the coverage. The guys in the clubhouse, like, the Brandel Chamblees and, McGinley, they're going to kiss Rory's ass. But he's earned that right. He's earned the right to have his ass kissed because he's the king right now. So to answer your question, I can understand why you think that way because a lot of these guys are guys you root for and are like great dudes like Ryan Fox. You see guys like that, you go, yeah, but Ryan Fox is not thrown into what Rory has been thrown into in his career. So I just don't think Rory's that big of a douche.
Oh, good point.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's why I love this podcast.
Yeah. Well done, sir.
Ralphie. While the Masters is king, the Open is usually more entertaining. This weekend was no exception. From the penalty to the ricochets and bounce backs off the pit bunkers to the rough to the last hole, it was a great watch. The only thing missing was drizzling, misting weather.
Do you prefer? The Masters. The thing about the Masters is it signifies spring. There's like a season to it. There's like a new beginnings that feels. You hear the music.
Oh yeah.
It hits differently.
And you don't have to get up at 3 a.m. to like watch some of it.
I like having a few things.
I really liked it this year. Yeah, because I go to bed early now, so I don't really. It doesn't. But I'm still not going to get up at 3 a.m.
No, in the early stuff you have to be right. But even
we didn't even talk about the Scotty getting the free relief on 17, which that's the thing is people are going to point to those things and go, well, why did Bryson get this? And I just don't think the R&A was, people were claiming that it was because of Trump. He's Bryson's a Trump guy. It's like they're not going to pull that in the Open, right? Come on. But Scotty getting a free drop from that was wild. Chris Eastlick, number 1, wildfire smoke on your one beach vacation of the year is ass. but feel way worse for those in Canada. Horrific scenes. And 2, Jason, just keep your pets inside at all times. Never let them out again. All right. No problem.
Oh, man.
I guess I won't have to watch the local news anymore.
No, we got to keep Eastlick, the ratings up on Eastlick's weather.
Eastlick should have his own app. I wish I could just go to Eastlick's app. That's what I was telling T. I'm like, F all these apps. Give me the Eastlick app.
Eastlick.com.
Dude, can I go out for my walk? I mean, is it, these wildfires? Like, what's happening?
It would be almost like customers, like you could text him and he'd text you back. It would be like a huge
Let's not
interactive.
get crazy. I mean, that's not good for Chris. He wouldn't want to.
Probably not. That does suck. I knew some other people were like, some people were headed to Canada last weekend. I knew other people like this was their weekend, and like that sucks. I mean, it does. It's one of those.
You can't change course though. Like,
well, but if it's like your weekend off work, or your week off work, and you got a vacation house you rented or something, people can't afford to say.
See, I love being indoors. Like, that wouldn't bother me whatsoever. I'd be like, no, all right. I guess I get to hang out indoors and watch golf all day. It's unfortunate. It sucks. What a terrible vacation. Rich Searing next. With the rumor that Carr almost got hurt during Moneyball, and with the run that we've had with injuries, why do we even participate in Moneyball? Isn't it just a risk of injury with no advantage? Especially with the fact that the players shine in it and then sit on the bench.
Well, I mean, why do anything? These guys are going to play basketball and open runs. And
that's what Izzo told you, right? Like, these guys are going to play no matter what.
Yeah, they're going to be in a court somewhere. They're going to be at the IM. They're going to be doing something, and something can always happen. And if you look at the history, I mean, I would say why practice in the summer? Almost every single major injury that's happened in the summer has happened during summer practices. Not for Moneyball. So maybe no more practice in the summer. Play co-ed softball, something like that. Do something else. Come back, and then see where you are with your basketball game. No, I'm obviously being facetious there, but I understand when you get something like Moneyball, that's the reaction. But it is a cool event. The whole thing goes away without the MSU guys, and they're aware of that. It's been great for the community. It's been great for the connection to fans. And in a day and age where there's a lot more transfer portal stuff and there's less connection than ever now, a lot of that has remained at Michigan State because, you have fewer transfers and more guys who you recruited sticking it out. But still, I think it's a cool thing. And obviously, if there was a serious injury, that would be something that was examined. But, they're 22 years in now or something and without a serious injury, and that's a lot of games over the course of a summer. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's very little actual intense defense. They didn't play the game Thursday after the Tuesday event. Like, they're careful on this stuff. They, they got Desmond knows what he's doing. I think there's no reason to pull the plug on Moneyball.
Munfield Keg next. I know they aren't a sponsor, but I went to Sir Pizza in Old Town recently, and I forgot how great it is. There really are so many hidden gems in Lansing, and I'm starting to realize as I get older that Lansing really is something special. Graham might be onto something.
Here. I'm telling you.
Don't give him a big head about this.
Not only, I mean, it's a good food. It's an underrated food town. It's an underrated food town. It really is an underrated food town. And we have our sponsors and like people like Front 43 we're huge fans of and Midtown and everything. But there's we just have a lot of creative, different type of places and for a town like us, and I think it's underrated.
Jake next. We had Groovy Donuts at our wedding a couple weeks ago, and the people were raving. We went through over 120 donuts with less than a half dozen left over. The sponsor of all sponsors.
See, there you go. We had donuts at our wedding, too, and people still talk about it. It is a great alternative to the cake at weddings, and Groovy Donuts is absolutely here for you. Go to groovydonuts.com. You can place your order, a custom order, whatever it is. They would happily cater to your wedding. Or if you've got a smaller group or it's just you, like you just want 4 donuts over the weekend, just go to groovydonuts.com or swing by either location, Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing, or also in Williamston. Throughout July, the cherry apple fritter is available. Just throughout July, I'm telling you, if you get a chance, it is 100% worth your time. I get emotional just thinking about it from a few years ago. Again, groovydonuts.com.
Daniel R. Patterson next. Sports are great, but I'm getting married to my soulmate Lori on Friday on the Straits of Mackinac. Can we get a shout out? I'm also running a positive campaign for MSU trustee to change the board. Go green.
Hell yeah. Congrats to Daniel and Lori.
Let's go green. Go God.
Wait, she's not your best friend?
Just soulmate.
She's only your soulmate?
Right.
Like some of those other guys are like, oh, I'm marrying my best friend. It's ridiculous.
Did you marry your
best friend? Is Elizabeth your best friend?
No. Yes, she is. I'm just kidding. Well,
Teresa's not my best friend.
Okay.
Teresa's my wife, and I love her dearly. But I wouldn't consider, like, how could she be both?
Well, you could be if
like we couldn't rob a bank. I would not rob a bank with her. So therefore, she's not like my best. She's not my best friend.
Why would you not rob a bank with her?
Because she would tell. She would give me up within 30 seconds. She loves when I'm wrong about stuff. She loves it sometimes. So like, there's no way. Like, and we're both like, we watch Dateline. We're like, how could these people do this? And like, if I saw T walking into a detective's like office there, I'd be like, I'm fucked. Like, there's no way she's not a ride or die. Like, and I understand that. Because I don't know if I would do that too if she murdered somebody. If I could sit there and defend her after she murdered somebody. But anyway,
Daniel, props to you and Lori. I hope you have an incredible wedding, and yeah, I admire what you're doing with the run for trustee. And you know, your name now is the only person I have ever heard of who's running for the board of trustees. So that puts you one up.
There you go, intern Nolan, Daniel R. Patterson. When you see that,
that's who you
vote for him.
Yeah.
Big John Hawk, number 1. I live 90 minutes from Lansing, but I'd come down for a Couch in the Rube golf event. And 2. Spain played to win. Argentina played to survive the penalties. The game was bad on the eyes. And 3, I'd rather run a mile barefoot through glass than attend another wedding this summer.
Whoa.
They're overrated.
I hope you're not going to Daniel and Lori's. Yeah.
Big John Hogg, dude. Let's golf. Yeah. Dude. I like you already. Yeah. It really is.
Lori's talking about Jake's from last week.
When I see one of those in the mail, when I go check the mail, and I'm like, oh shit, is this a wedding invitation?
When's the last time you were at a wedding?
This in May.
Okay.
South Carolina.
We don't get invited to
one.
We've aged out. You still get one a year? That's good, man.
Treese knows everybody. People love Treese. Okay. Believe me, they're not inviting me.
Okay.
They're inviting Treese. Well, guess who has to go? I have to go with my best friend.
Yeah. That's fair.
Right? So believe me, I'm not gloating that I get invited to a bunch of shit.
That's like, yeah. I miss it because I went through this, you know, we all go through the period in life that you get a ton, and there's like 3-5 a year, and it's great. And then my wife's a little bit younger than me, so I went through it again with her.
Oh, yeah.
And that was tremendous, and it was just all, and it was even less responsibility because it was all her people. I just had to show up and.
But is it tremendous? Like
I
like
love
them?
weddings.
You
I
love them?
weddings. I love weddings.
Oh, but you're good at small talk then.
I like small talk. I like a good glass of wine. I like the dancing. I like the chatting. I like the evening. I like the whole evening. I like the venues. I like the different type of place. If it's a barn wedding, if it's a reception hall, whatever it is, I love it. I love it all. Yeah, I love you. If you want me to go to your wedding, I'm happy to come to your wedding. Nobody ever invites me to weddings anymore. And so
you should have Couch officiate your wedding. He is good at that. I witnessed it in person. It was great. And since he loves being there, I would totally have you do it. I wish we could get married. T and I could get married again and have you do it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
All right, Treese, speaking of, next. Going through security at Pine Knob was some of the most bizarre shit ever. Oh, yeah. We went to Black Crowes on Saturday night, and we ended up in some security area that was pretty wild. And I don't know if, I thought, honestly, it was so weird that I thought I was on one of those, like, undercover camera shows, like Impractical Jokers or something. Like, the one lady had the wand thing, but it wouldn't stop beeping, and, like, the one guy was yelling at the...
So was it because you had done something wrong? They were
Not at all.
Okay.
No, because I don't do any of that stuff anymore. When I get in, I'm like, dude, I'm proper. I'm on my P's and Q's, so there was nothing... But, of course, I got the diabetic device, so I got all these things that will set these things off, so, of course, I'm not going to be able to get through there. But I actually, the guy that was sitting in front of us, the guy hit me in my left testicle. He had his arm around his wife, and I was looking over at T, and all of a sudden, I just feel my left testicle. I'm like, wow. And the dude hit me because he was hammered. Oh, by the way, and he was in like his mid-50s, almost like 60, and he was like kicked over a beer, hit me in my testicle. I'm like, dude, like, I know I haven't had a drink in 5 years, and I know, like, but it's so, when you see people like that, I'm like, damn, dude, you haven't figured this out by now, like how to get a nice buzz on, going to a concert. You have to get so wrecked. He fell asleep during the concert. That's too. But I yelled at him. Dude, I go, what the fuck, man? Because I was just like, because the concert was going, like, and he was really like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, all right, man.
You don't think it was an intentional grace?
No, because he was really, but it just came out of me. Because I was not, when you're not ready for a little sack tap, and the guy does it out of nowhere. It's like, what the? So I yelled at him by accident. But
on that note, let's take a really quick break. When we come back,
Black Crowes was great, by the way.
Pine Knob, right?
Pine Knob.
Black Crowes.
Awesome.
When we come back, we'll dig into more of your takes, and we'll check out what's going on in the YouTube comments as well. Couch in the Rube, our Monday show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app.
Firekeeper's online casino and sportsbook is the site to play from your phone, tablet, or laptop. Get in on all the football action with pre- and in-game wagering. There's showdowns every week in football that you can't miss. Plus, the college and pro hoops are red hot, and the pucks are cool. Get your first casino deposit and sports wager matched up to $500 each. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com.
Please like and subscribe to the Couch and the Rube YouTube channel. Also, download podcast episodes wherever you get your podcasts. For sponsorship opportunities, email Jason at couchandtherube.com.
Couch in the Rube, our Monday show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers Eye Casino and Sportsbook app. If you've never been to Firekeepers Casino, I'm telling you, it is worth your time. No need for Vegas. Right here in Battle Creek off I-94. Excellent time. You can stay there at the hotel. Great restaurants, and including Dacey's Tap Room there with the Sportsbook on site at Firekeepers Casino. All right, before we dig back into the listener takes, intern Nolan has been keeping tabs on the chat on the YouTube channel. What are the highlights here?
It's a lot of Chuck Fish guy. Chuck Fish 1855. He's having a lot of conversations, but he's had some. He had this one take I thought was pretty funny. We're talking about MSU is gonna hire Stevie Y. I'm assuming he means Steve Eiserman. I'm assuming that's what he means for the AD role, but
that was good. Yeah,
wouldn't be mad about. Wouldn't be mad about that.
Well, I don't think he's gonna get a management role again right away. It would not make sense. Anything else out there?
He said something else. There was.
So it's just Chuck Fish.
No, there was Green Washer says red card rules need to change, and I think I agree with that.
I do too. I think, well, to some degree, I think the addition of VAR, the red cards that come out of reviews, I think it can be too harsh. The second yellow can be too harsh. There has to be some sort of and I know it's been done this way forever, and most of the sport I love the way it is. I hate the breaks, the commercial breaks that Fox put in that they called hydration breaks. But the red card stuff can be too punitive and change too many games. You talk about something that kills a bet. Like, I wish there was an offer on, you can have tie no bet as an offer on when you bet on a soccer game, which means if it ties, your bet is void. I wish there was a red card no bet. I would pay a little extra juice for that, because sometimes you have a game pegged right. In 20 minutes in, one team gets a red card. They're playing 10 people down. The game's totally different both ways. It's not really the game you intended to bet on. I would love to see the rules adjusted a little bit.
There's this like a tweet I saw about it saying there should be if you get a red card the 10th minute of a game, you can't play until the 10th minute of the next game or something like that. So I don't know. You don't get to miss the entire. So if you get kicked out early in a game, you're missing 2 games basically.
I just think there are varying levels of it, and the second yellow stuff is. I think a VAR review that confirms a red card I don't love, and then I don't love the or changes a card, and then the second yellow stuff. There's 2 points of that. Like the idea that if you're on a yellow card, you have to play carefully, and it changes how you play. That changes the game, and it should. I like that. But sometimes the second yellow is it's, I don't know. There's got to be something that's in between the red and yellow. Maybe you have to sit out for 20 minutes within a game or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Any other conversation out there that you find interesting?
Yeah, this one from Greg Osman. My takes get skipped, but I have to listen to this intern boys take that are interesting because my dead grandparents' wooden carvings. Okay, hey, Ruff, you got takes? Put them in the chat, man. I mean,
Greg, I apologize.
Put him in the chat, man.
Put him in the chat.
I hope I didn't skip Greg's. I don't ever mean to miss anybody's takes. If I'm missing
just
him,
Scotty Green's El Camino. You've told me he cannot be.
No, I'm not. And he's in here as well coming up. Well, we appreciate it, Andrew Nolan. And Greg, if I've been doing that, I very much apologize. All right, back to the listener takes.
Ken Chu, bake take that maybe only the Rube will get. Mark Hollis would be better off bringing back Talk than coming back to MSU as AD. Yeah, the band, the guy. There was Mark Hollis and Talk.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ken.
Baked. All right, David Jackson. I don't know Troy Melton's contract info, but now is the time for the Tigers to lock him up for a long deal. As for Skubal, either sign him now or trade him now, even if it's the only for a 35-year-old utility infielder. If he just walks after this season, every executive in the organization should be fired. Excuse me. Oh, my God, I'm dying. And from Dan Rakin, trading Skubal will be the best option if the Tigers opt or to buy or sell. Added needed pieces to a strong no Skubal rotation or keep him and roll the dice and add a bat or two at the deadline. And bonus from Dan Rakin. The World Cup may help to overhaul youth soccer in the U.S., but it still won't stop strange middle-aged men from coaching 6-year-olds. # Graham.
Yeah, no.
But now he has a child.
Right.
So, like,
It won't be so
He was
strange.
doing this, like, years ago.
Yeah, I was doing this 5 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
I was trying to help you out.
Sorry.
Years ago.
Yeah, when I was
Been doing this since I was 25. What do you mean?
And it was once, and it was a buddy who was running. By the way, I mean, yeah, a lot of these things create. Yeah, it was a buddy whose daughter was on the team who I know very well. So it wasn't quite as creepy. But I can see from other people's perspective that was my nerve. Why I was nervous about it.
He's how old, and does he have a child?
The argument trading Skubal will be the best option. The Tigers opt to buy or sell. So either way, trade him.
Well, we've never heard him say that he wants to be here long term. It's just that yes, we should buy. That's what Skubal says. We should buy now because he wants to be here till the end of the year. That's what he's saying.
So the question,
it's like, okay, well, if we're not going to get anything, I just don't want to leave empty-handed. Kind of a Verlander situation where we did get something, but we didn't get the haul that we thought it would be.
And the idea that if he keeps saying he wants to be there, is there a little part of, well, put your money where your mouth is. Let's see what this this offseason looks like. I don't really love that. I think the flip side of that is if you're not getting value for him, you can't trade him unless there's value because you'll be judged on this trade quite a bit, and the Tigers should be judged on this trade.
But won't you be judged more if you just let him go and don't get anything whatsoever?
Yeah.
Because he's pretty much kind of giving you the vibe that he's going to be gone next year.
Yeah.
Professor Old Man Take. Falling asleep to late-night West Coast baseball games is not as nice as falling asleep to afternoon baseball games. Older Man Take. There are too many flavors of Oreos these days.
I've had the Oreos issue. My wife is a big Oreos fan, and so I go to get Oreos, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, what are we doing here? Yeah, so
it's too much. We try them, we critique.
Yeah,
but there's too many flavors of everything though. Like we can't just have whatever anymore. Everything has to be modified.
The original Oreo. Now there are some good alternative Oreos, but the original Oreos are still unbeaten with milk. I mean, that's just as good as it gets.
Yeah. Kurt Wisniewski, the third place game for the World Cup was better than the final. In bonus, I'd like to hear the intern's thoughts on MSU football. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. That's cool. I think that's cool. I think we're probably we'll be a fringe bowl team this year again. I thought so last year too. I thought we were gonna win like 7 games. We won 4. But if all things go right, I think we'll make a bowl game at like 7-5 or 6-6. But if all things go like it did last year, we're gonna get like 4-8 again.
So let me ask you this: you are 22 years old.
21.
So it's been 11 years since they were
in the playoffs.
Yeah,
we lost 38-0.
Yeah. So, but you were 10 years old. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I was at my friend's house.
Okay. So when did you start? Yeah. So when your formative years of MSU, does it feel like forever ago? Because I remember when I was young, and like the Bad Boy Pistons happened, and I was like 9, 10 years old. It was only 4 years later that they were like 20-62 and drafted Grant Hill. But that 4 years from 10 to 14 felt like 60 years, right? Like they've been a bad team forever. I'm wondering, does MSU feel like a program that's been shit forever?
No.
To you, or no?
Like MSU football, or just
MSU football.
They won the Cotton Bowl 4 years ago, right?
Okay, so there's 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't say so. Yeah, every school has its down years. I mean, even the great schools, like obviously Michigan's has its bad runs here, and they weren't that like in the late 2010s. They had some solid players, but they weren't like national contenders every year. Those teams like Bama and Florida and all those teams. But I think that this team has every team has a dry spout, and I think that we're just in there right now. And I think with Pat Fitzgerald, especially with his tenure at Northwestern, considering how little talent he got, he was consistently winning, having multiple win seasons, making bowl games. I think that with him being at a school with now just received $400 million in money, like NIL money.
Yeah, it's not what they've received.
Like part of the Spartan Ventures Fund, right?
Well, $100 million of that went towards Spartan Ventures.
No,
the rest are so $100 million is towards Spartan Ventures to create the system in which they're going to procure money. I think I was part of this. I think Michigan State was part of it. I think people misunderstood the $401 million is like this is boom buying defensive tackles.
That's what I thought. So when I first saw that, I thought it was
nothing would be a bigger waste of money than buying a defensive tackle. I mean, the argument really. I mean, it's a whole different thing. But I mean, there should be. The idea was to create the infrastructure for Spartan Ventures that allows everything to go from there. We'll see if it works.
Yeah, but overall, I think this team isn't going to be terrible. I think it'll be fun to watch. I think there will definitely be some good wins here. I think we have a good start to the season. I think if we can beat Toledo and Eastern, but go into Notre Dame 2-0, will we lose that game in Notre Dame? Probably. Yeah. But it'll be a cool game. I think we'll be in South Bend at 8 p.m. on a Saturday. Can't really beat that.
Heck yeah. Well, there you go, Kurt.
All right. Spartholomew. Ward stepping down at the end of the year. Boy, oh boy, that NDA must be massive. Detroit News in shambles. And from Moneyball, the Detroit News doing what got you, Spiro. He hasn't stepped down yet article as a news of misconduct leaked every day last week was weird. And from Ben Schulich, when does the Detroit News issue the public apology to Justin Spiro after publicly calling him out last week?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do so. And but it was, look, like we talked about at the intro, I don't think it was the way to go. It just completely unnecessary. Even if some of your points are decent there in that little letter or whatever it was, it gets lost when you take an unnecessary shot. If you want to do things your way, and a lot of what the Detroit News does is commendable from a journalistic standpoint, that's fine. Just do it your way. You don't need to take shots at other people.
Stupidest, Shardy next. Can't wait to hear Graham defend the Detroit media and their reporting on Ward the past few weeks. They've had a lot to say about MSU as an institution when everyone with Guskowitz and Bat went down.
Well, let's see what comes out of this. I think there's going to be a lot of criticism, and there's a lot of coverage. The Detroit media, have there been a lot of columns on Ward and Guskowitz that have been, Nolan Finley of the Detroit News, the editorial page editor there, has a stick up his ass, we're talking a lot about up his ass today, for Michigan State, and there's no question about it. And some of his stuff, I think, has been a little off. Others, maybe some of it legitimate questions. He's certainly tied into a certain board member, maybe a couple of them. And, some of it's been okay, some of it hasn't. And my bigger issue with Nolan Finley, there are lots of things in this world that I think he should care about that are much more important that he doesn't write about. So maybe write about some of those things.
Gruff Sparty is the best Sparty next. I don't understand why anyone cares about cheating at Michigan. Cheaters win. Nothing bad happens. Who cares if a natty is devalued? You won it. Ward will be a millionaire and be fine. Harbaugh got kicked to the NFL. Tens of millions in fines will be paid without problems. Just do it.
Well, the idea is to be above it, right? The idea is not to pattern. This is the problem in this world we live in now, right? There are no repercussions. The rules and norms that used to exist from a political standpoint at the very top, it's like, oh, screw that. We're just going to do what we want and stop us, right? It's and you can't. And Michigan's basically said the same thing to some degree in certain points. And you just don't want. I just don't want to live in a world where that's who we support, we get excited about. And I think ultimately it does hurt you. I think the excitement around your program I think there are a lot of fans of Michigan that don't love this. I think when Michigan State goes through shit that's untoward, I think there are a lot of Michigan State fans who get turned off. There are people who give up their season tickets. I know people who have given up their season tickets in different stages of Michigan State athletic controversies, going back to like choosing George Perlis to be the athletic director when the president didn't want that. A lot of people gave up season tickets, said we don't believe in the board going against the president on this. I know people during the Nasser situation were kind of disgusted with their school and gave them up. Like, this happens. This isn't. Not everybody is faucet liquor 24 go blow green lover. Like, I don't know if that's a handle.
A little wordy,
a little wordy. But not everybody's that. There's a lot of reasonable people out there who just took some classes someplace, like their school, but are not up for the bullshit.
Sparty Barb next. Number 1, Kalen Lucas's jersey belongs in the rafters at Breslin. A two-time Big Ten champion, Big Ten Player of the Year, a Final Four appearance, and inducted into the MSU Sports Hall of Fame. His resume speaks for itself. And 2, Josh Kerr running a mile in 3 minutes, 42.66 seconds is the athletic feat of the year. And bonus. Graham, please sit down at front 43 in Cask & Company for an in-depth interview with your beer buddy, John Palumbo. Let him explain why Spartan Ventures is such a game changer for Michigan State athletics.
Well, I did already. It wasn't at Front 43 in Cask & Company. I wish it had been, but I sat down with John Palumbo, with Jay Batt and Kevin Guskowitz in February, March, whenever it was, around that time, for a piece on Spartan Ventures, and wrote it. It was a bit of a puff piece, but it sort of explained what they were doing, and I had my take on a few things in there as well as I could, and so John was part of that. I believe he's quoted in it. Had I known he was going to be the AD 4 months later, I would have used his voice a lot more. It was sort of my introduction to him. I hadn't really met him before that point, but it was a lot more Jay Batt and Guskowitz in the piece. But yeah, John is somebody I look forward to getting to know. We've had some conversations since, just personal pleasantry type stuff. But I'm curious to see what he has to offer, and maybe he's the guy long term for that job.
Like what kind of pleasantries? Like, what's up? How you doing?
Yeah, weather's nice. You have a donut lately?
Oh, it's kind of hot out, isn't it?
Yeah, that's worth it.
Skiles, long pinky fingernail. Number 1, the World Cup final halftime show wasn't horrible. They went fast, lots of acts. The Muppets were cool, way better than the Super Bowl one-act overproduced nonsense. And 2, don't cry for me, Argentina. I cry for you. The team minus Messi isn't good enough to win the thing in the next few cycles.
Yeah, well, they'll have to rebuild, and that happens to a lot of countries. And look at Brazil right now; they're sort of in a transition. I think Argentina will be a lot closer to Brazil next time. They'll still be good, but
does Messi have any kids? Like, is there a Messi Jr.?
It'll be interesting to see if he tries to play at 43. I don't think he will, but only because there's going to be one game in Argentina, because it's like the 100th year of the World Cup, and
yeah, but if he doesn't run, they'll put him out there.
Yeah,
be like Miggy.
Yeah. But that got sad. I don't think you want sad Messi at the end.
Messi's all fat. That would be kind of depressing. What did you think of the halftime show?
I didn't watch it.
How dare you?
Yeah, it was
Madonna. That was wild.
Yeah, Cora had a bit of a meltdown right around then. So it was. Was it good? Did you think it was good?
No, it was complete ass.
Yeah.
Then you got Bieber coming out. Like, I don't know. All those things are ass to me. But Mr. Benjen next. Number 1, losing the World Cup finals has to be the biggest gut punch in sports, outside of a literal one in boxing. 4 years, the emotion, the dreams of a nation, and its diaspora, national identity, evaporated. 2, you were almost called Horace, Graham? My hippie parents almost called me Aurora Borealis.
Holy crap, yeah.
Next up was Maximilian. I actually kind of like that one. Yeah, strong, curiosity-inducing. What was your almost name for yours?
Oh, for Cora? We were pretty firm on Cora. We had a couple others that I don't want to give out, because if there was a second kid, it could be that.
What do we care?
I've always been.
People partial. Are gonna. So if you said it, like if you have another kid,
well, no, I don't know if it'll
someone
be
gonna steal it.
Yeah, you never
report
know.
it.
My wife would not be happy. Of all the things I've said on this show, she would be unhappy if I. Yeah. Did you almost have another name that you were almost
me?
Yeah, instead of Jason.
I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't ask.
My wife was supposed to be named Chloe. And when she came out, she was like red-faced and spitting mad, and they were like, "That is not a Chloe," and they named her Elizabeth. But every year on her birthday, I get a bottle of Chloe wine, and we toast Chloe. That never happened. Jesus.
All right, I mean that's great. Chris, despite Trump trying his best to ruin it by not allowing a ref in the country and turning a lovable USMNT into villains, also way too much Lawless. It was a great World Cup. My favorite parts were Cape Verde being the only team not to lose to Spain and Enzo on a yellow turning Kubarsi into a helicopter. Kubarsi.
It was, I mean, that's the thing about the World Cup. It's almost too cool to fail, despite people trying, despite FIFA being complete ass, despite the weather certain places, despite the hydration breaks that change matches. Like, if you took the hydration breaks out, you'd have different results. You might have had, I'm not sure that Argentina's there. I'm not sure who. There would have been a different, there would have been, I would bet you 4 or 5 games that ended differently without changing the momentum of the hydration breaks. So those things should go away forever. And if Fox doesn't like that, then stop broadcasting soccer. Other people will pick up the World Cup for you. You and your 4-minute college football commercials and your hydration breaks in soccer can
terrible.
Kick rocks. But it was incredible. It was a great month.
The Horace Couch of Southern Maine next. Everyone can clown Blue Sky if you'd like, but I recently read on this app someone called Larry Ellison a pay pig for paying millions of dollars for Bryce Underwood just to impress his much younger girlfriend. Reading this has improved my life 5%.
But lots of people would do that. Like, if you had, at some point in your life, Jason, you have done something only to impress your girlfriend, right? Right?
Okay, yeah.
Well, what's something you've done?
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah. Absolutely. Be someone I completely wasn't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's most of life.
Yeah, it's trying to get laid.
Right.
That's part of it.
That's it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Bought Coach purses and all sorts of shit.
Yeah. I mean, it is
debt.
It is kind of funny that Michigan, with all that money, Ellison is not actually a Michigan guy who's giving to the school. But like we said, like, that's part of if you are at Michigan State and you are young and attractive like Nolan here, like, your job, Nolan, is to marry like a really wealthy woman in her 60s who just wants to hang out with you, and then you can give money back to the school. Like, that's part of that can be part of this is what NIL is now. There's no real value in it, so why not do absurd things?
JB Leets next. On the Friday shows, you need to bring it, Couch. Bring it, he says. Too many of your answers are non-answers. Damn it, they're catching on. No more of this, I could see it going either way. Nonsense. Be bold. Let's go. And bonus, I don't see it with Cam Ward, not against elite competition anyway. He transfers after this season.
I never said I was good at this,
That's the point of our podcast.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be doing this, I think.
You and I disagree on Cam Ward. I really am curious to see what he's able to do this year. And I think he's a guy who, from a defensive standpoint, he's not quite Morez Johnson maybe in terms of switchability, but he's like what he's going to be able to do at the college level, and we'll see beyond that is something that'll be extremely valuable to
See, you were supposed to say you didn't know, though.
Oh, but it could go either way. He might just suck. Who knows?
Matty B next. Number 1, I don't care what era it is, but especially an era where players can be paid and the alumni base we have, MSU should never be dead last in football recruiting. That is inexcusable. If it's a money issue, our athletic department has been a failure in attracting money from all sources. And 2, the Detroit News calling out Spiro was sad. People don't just say blue wall out of thin air for fun. The reputation has clearly been earned. Don't like the rep? Start covering things fairly, consistently, and start breaking stories. Don't only comment after it goes national.
Yeah, I mean, like we've talked about this quite a bit. The Detroit News does a really good job on a lot of stuff. I just think this thing was unnecessary, and because anything they do gets lost. Like, there are lots of people covering this now who, their work gets lost because the editor put this out there. I just didn't think that was wise. He's done a lot of good stuff as an editor. They've got a lot of good people there, and I'm not just blowing smoke up their ass. Like, the Detroit News is, they've been a force in journalism in the state for a long time, and they've got a lot. I mean, like Beth LeBlanc, I mentioned earlier. I can't remember, but she's like, as talented as they come on the State House beat. There are lots of people there who are just outstanding. By the way, Therese just texted me, as she does from time to time. Jason forgot to mention the security guard at Pine Knob thought he looked like the Miz minus the mustache.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he looked like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which he pointed out to me, and then we both went, oh. But he said I look like the Miz, which was nice, because when someone says that to you, right, because he prefaced it with that. It's like, man, you look like someone. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Insert fat something or other. But, yeah, the Miz. I'm sorry I left that out. You know what else I left out, too? Because they allow, since it's an half outdoor venue, they allow beach balls to be popped around. Well, they don't allow it. My bad. because there's actually security guards. I didn't know that. I thought they would let you kind of bop them around, but there's actually these ladies, security ladies with like knives, and they pop them right away.
Do a lot of people bring beach balls? Like
there was a ton.
So why?
And so all of a sudden,
so it must have at one point been a thing that was allowed, and then it's not.
But I guess, and then all of a sudden they stab them to death. So T and I we're hanging out before the concert. We get there about a half hour before. We're watching Whiskey Myers, which is the opener, and one drops near me, and I'm like, oh shit! It's like my fear because everybody's like looking at you. So I'm like, all right. So I go to bop it back into the crowd. It goes right to the security lady, and she pops it, and then the whole crowd around me, she's like, oh. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, God damn it, I didn't want that to happen. Anyway, great concert though. Richard Kane next. Number 1, Jason's flawless pronunciation of Mbappe shows how much soccer has progressed in America. By the way, Jack Walsh is the De Niro character in the great 1988 movie Midnight Run. Sometimes I forget how young you whippersnappers are. If you haven't, do yourself a favor and watch it soon.
Charles Grogan, it's a great movie.
I know George texted us after the show. I felt bad because I know I need to see that movie again. 2, what a terrible idea to have a third place game. Who would want to watch that? And 3, kudos to Josh Kerr for breaking the mile world record, which had stood for 27 years.
That's incredible.
I'm just shocked that people care about it, though. Like, it is, like, when you see it, you're like, oh, wow. Because back in the day, it was like breaking a 4-minute mile was crazy.
Yeah, and it's like it's why the 100-yard dash is so fun to watch the Olympics. It's like one of the original things, right? How fast you can run a mile, how fast you can run 100 yards. I mean, who's the fastest, strongest, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's how fast can you run a mile? If you had to right now run a mile, how fast could you go?
Oh, 10 minutes?
I bet you could get under 10.
No. Dude, I'm a walker, dude. I don't exercise. Dude, listen, like I said, I'm just trying to make it to 60. I'm not trying to do this working out shit. Yeah, I did that in my 20s, and I'm over it. Shep, next. On Team Couch in the summer versus winter debate. Summer's absolute ass. Sweating your ass off while casually walking around outside in shorts and a T-shirt is fucking ass. I spend as much time in the Colorado high country as I can already. Can ski 5 months out of the year, and the hottest it will ever get in the dead of summer is about 75 degrees. And it's still sweatshirt and jeans weather in the evenings. Perfection. Long live winter, F summer, and bonus. The Groovy Donuts Black Forest Bismarck reminds me of one of those Dirty Sanchez or Cleveland Steamer things that we used to laugh about in the 90s.
Man, I remember the Cleveland Steamers was there was the type. I remember that name specifically when I used to work the desk in Kalamazoo, where I lived, by the way, for a while.
That's what I heard.
And people would call in their bowling scores, right? And there were teams that it'd be like Cleveland Steamers that they try and get through. Like, we can't print the Cleveland Steamers in the paper like that.
Talk about paying your dues. Yeah. Something intern Nolan will never know. Having to answer bowling scores.
Work the agate page.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Hey there. We bowled a 790 game. We're the Cleveland Steamers. You know what a Dirty Sanchez is, right?
It's not. Yeah, sort of. Tell me. No, don't tell me.
Aiden's child. Next. Worst way to spend your summer beach vacation than indoors due to smoke? How about spending it in the ER, getting an incision and drainage of a perennial abscess because it was causing sepsis?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, Graham, how's Cora's diapers doing lately? Jesus. Scotty Green's El Camino. Thanks for leaving his in.
Yeah.
Number 1.
This time only.
The World Cup can be much better with these changes. Number 1, no more hydration breaks. 2, change offsides to benefit the offense. If any part of you is even with the defender, even a hand, you're onsides. 3, no more man buns. 4, no more Shakira or Muppets at halftime. 6, Lawless band. By the way, Shakira and the Muppets was what kind of saved that. How about like no Madonna or Bieber?
Yeah, and by the way, if I'd known the Muppets were on, I probably would have watched it.
Yeah, they did Seven Nation Army. It was great. Yeah. Shakira looks amazing. Bonus, one of life's underrated experiences. Taking a massive shit and listening to your toilet choke on it. What the you left this is why we leave him in. Then telling it, take that, you porcelain fuck. Very satisfying.
What do we tell you? What do we tell you?
It's Scotty Green talking to his toilet.
What did we tell you? What did we tell you? Come here and take it. Let's go.
All right, sorry. I love that.
By the way, the World Cup changing offsides rule, you'd have to do it universally in soccer. You can't. It'd have to be everywhere that you said any part of you is onside, then you're onside. And you know what? If everybody wanted to do that, I could live with it. But it would have to be universal.
How could you answer anything other than his last take? Like, I just can't get over that. It's just, so, you guys forgot my takes, man. I had a great one about a toilet choking on it. Gramanito Couch next. Parenting take. Lamine Yamal's little bro will scare Jason even further away from being a parent. That's impossible. That's absolutely impossible. I've seen Northwest. Kids like that. Sunshine Spartan, number 1, thankful the World Cup is over. What a waste of time. Sorry, Graham. 2, good take. The Tigers will do nothing at the trade deadline and still not win the division. And 3, if you have not been to a Buc-ee's, it is a must if on a road trip. Closet, Michigan. Closest Michigan one is in Kentucky, I believe.
Yeah, I've never been. I don't think I've been. It's possible I've been. I've been to a lot of stops on the road, but it doesn't seem. I've been to the Come and Goes in Iowa, but you ever been to Come and Go?
Oh, man, have I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
that's it.
Hans Jurgen, number 1, Spain's defensive performance was the greatest since Graham's date on prom night. 2, just enjoy the Odyssey movie. Stop politicizing it. And 3, I hate to admit it, but Graham is right. Trade Mize. Bonus. I miss Javi on the Tigers. He made every at-bat an adventure and was El Mago in the field.
They need him a little bit. There's a little.
I forgot that we had him, to be honest.
Same. Is he out for the year now?
He was on the 60.
Yeah, probably.
DL.
It's not great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jake Hawkins. Number 1, congratulations to Spain on their World Cup win. Part of me was hoping that England would have made it to the final. That would have been an intriguing matchup. Plus, if England would have won, I wanted to hear them sing Wonderwall by Oasis out loud and proud. 2, whoever makes the MSU basketball schedule for 26 and 27, I'd like to know whose fucking idea it was to put the game at Tennessee on a Tuesday. Was it ESPN because they cover the SEC? They couldn't have made it a Thursday or a Friday night game. I think it was Harns. I was hoping to go to Knoxville. And 3, Twitter or X really upsets me sometimes, not only with random crapola that I don't follow on my news feed, but also for not reminding me about notifications from Couch in the Rube for a Twitter question show. I saw it on my news feed, but then forgot about it this past Friday.
I think that's on you a little bit, Jake. You saw it and forgot about it. There are lots of things.
Well, you're supposed to just retell them.
Yeah, X does suck, but there are lots of things to that one might be a little bit.
I think there's a lot of fun to Twitter, but yeah, when you get the that's what for you instead of who you're following. Yeah, the for you, all of a sudden I see an Indian guy get hit by a train. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not following this.
How was that for me? Yeah,
I know. I just saw someone murdered at 8:30 in the morning.
I don't need
by
that.
A train.
I don't
fucking
need
hell, man.
The MSU, there are a lot of Tuesday games, and sorry about that. The Knoxville trip will be fun. It'll be another reason.
It's not going to be fun. He's not going to go. Well, it's on a Tuesday.
That's a good point.
Upper Deck Jerk Guide, get us out of here, finally. Explosive diarrhea caused by lettuce parasites and recent Spartan football results. Hopefully both are curable.
A lot of poop there at the end of the show. As
come and go.
Yeah.
Pooping.
Lots of stuff happening.
Amazing.
We appreciate all of you for producing our show. We really do. We appreciate intern Nolan for making the show happen. We appreciate, of course, our friends at Groovy Donuts, our friends at Front 43 and Cask & Company, and our Monday sponsors, our friends at the Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Download the app. Start looking at the football lines. They're out. First week 1 lines are out. Michigan State, like 10.5-point favorite against Toledo. Something we'll talk about at some point. We'll be back later this week and do this again. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.